My dear students, today we will learn the chapter 4 from the poetry section, that is unit 2, titled She Walks in Beauty by the poet Lord Byron. The poet, as you can see on the screen here, his name is George Gordon Byron. It's the 6th Byron title. Okay. Was born 22nd January 1788 and died in 19 April 1824. Was a British peer. Peer is from a term from the word peerage. Peerage, my dear students, is a legal system historically comprising various hereditary titles and sometimes non-hereditary, like in England, sometimes non-hereditary, which can be given by the Queen. Okay, can earn knighthood or titles in England. In a number of countries, this is hereditary titles in a number of countries and composed of different noble ranks. Right, people who hold titles are called peer. Right. Now, he was known as Lord Byron. Lord being a title. He was a poet as well as a politician. Lord Byron was one of the leading figures of the Romantic movement. This, I believe, you have learned in your lower classes, the Romantic era or Romanticism. Now, Romanticism, also known as Romantic era, was in fact a literary, artistic, historical, musical, as well as an intellectual movement which started in Europe towards the end of the 18th century. Okay, that era is called the Romantic movement, and he is also regarded as one of the greatest British poets, the most fashionable poet of his time. He was regarded as the most fashionable poet of his time, and Byron's influence on European poetry, music, novel, opera, and painting had been very immense. Was very strong. Lord Byron remains widely read and influential. He traveled extensively across Europe, especially in Italy, where he served. He lived for 7 years in the cities of Venice, Ravenna, and Pisa. Being ardent traveler. Among his best-known works are the lengthy narrative poems Don Juan and Childe Harold's Pilgrimage. Many of his shorter lyrics in Hebrew melodies also became popular, for that matter. Now, later in life, Byron joined the Greek War of Independence, fighting the Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire, if you have not forgotten, I believe you have learned it in your standard 10th in the social studies regarding the history section. And he died of fever when he contracted fever in this course. Okay, in 1824, at the age, died very young at the age of 36. In fact, he has just started living his name, and he was just has become very popular. That's when he has gained his popularity, started having a lot of influence in the European circle. But unfortunately for him, he died at a very young age of 36. Now, brief introduction. Let's have a brief introduction to this poem. What is this poem all about? A brief introduction. She Walks in Beauty is a short lyrical poem written by Lord Byron in 1814, and is one of his most famous work. That's why we are studying it. Okay, it is dedicated to an unnamed woman whose beauty is described using imagery inspired by nature. Imagery is a poetic device. Okay, inspired by nature. Here he uses an imagery inspired by nature, like the stars, the clouds. We will see it in the poem later on. Now it is said, but in this beautiful poetry is said to have been inspired by an event in Baron's life. What happened was on June 1814, Baron attended a party in London. Now, among the guests was Mrs. Anne Beatrix Wilmot, wife of Baron's first cousin. His first cousin's name was Sir Robert Wilmot. Now, when he saw his cousin's wife, Anne Beatrix Wilmot, he was struck by her unusual beauty. And the next morning, the poem was written. His cousin's wife happens to be a very beautiful woman. The theme of the poem is the woman's exceptional beauty. What is the topic of this poem? Theme of this poem? The woman's exceptional beauty, both internal and external. Right? That is both his appearance and his inner, his heart, his inner feelings. The first stanza praises her physical beauty. In the poem, the first stanza praises her physical beauty. The second and the third stanzas highlight both her physical and spiritual or intellectual beauty, that is insight. Now with this information, let's try and learn the poem. Let's first deal with the first stanza. This is a short poem. You will get it very easily. Now the poem. The poet starts the poem by comparing the walk of the beauty. Right? He compares the woman walking in beauty with shadows of the night and the brightness of the stars. Okay, he compares this beauty with the night sky and the brightness of the stars in a cloudless night sky. Okay, the resemblance, that is the light of the stars, the shadows of the night as contrast, is brought forward immediately, describing this beauty. Right, the poet further comments the beauty of the woman and says that all the best of the dark and bright, okay, take the best from the dark, take the best from the bright, and it can be seen in her face and eyes. Now her beauty is like a tender light, okay, a very soft light, which is in contrast to the unpleasant strong bright daylight. All right, so his beauty is described in contrast. Okay, now in the second stanza, the poet continues to illustrate the woman's perfect beauty. Here in the second stanza, the poet reflects on the balance of beauty, the woman's beauty. The poet says that one shade a little bit darker or one ray the less, okay, will hinder the beauty of this graceful woman who is not named in the poem, or in the poem. One shade darker, one ray the less will have hindered the beauty of this graceful woman. All right, her beauty is perfect. The glow on the skin, the face is perfect. It's balancedly in sync. This grace is nameless in the poem. The grace, the beautiful woman, is nameless. Why? Because the beauty is beyond expression with words. The poet says there, the woman cannot be named, or she is not named because the beauty is beyond expression with words. Her, as she walks about in the room, her dark wavy hair is beautifully contrasting with her glowing face, right? Her face which calmly and sweetly expresses her thought. Her face, her outer looks very calmly and sweetly expresses her thoughts. That is what the poet says. Now the poet then turns to her inner life and says that her external beauty, that is her beauty, her looks, can only be an expression of thoughts that comes from within her mind or head, which is both pure and dear. Such a beautiful woman whose face is so beautiful can come only from, can be influenced, or is only an expression of thoughts that comes from her mind, or clean mind or head, which is both pure and dear. Okay, now the third stanza, in the final stanza, what is the poet saying? In the final stanza, The poet focuses once more on her face again and says that her cheek, her brow, and her smile has a silent expression of peace and calm, yet feelings and emotion. The poet focuses on her beautiful face again and hence says that her cheeks, her brow, and her smile, it is it has a very silent expression of peace and calm, yet with feelings and emotion. The beautiful smile that can win a lot of hearts. Her glowing face shows that she was well brought up and that she had led a good life. Right? The beautiful smile that shows on her glowing face, okay, shows that she was well brought up in a very good home environment and that she has led a good life. Her mind is at peace, her heart has love. The poet finally says that, looking at the woman, both examining her inner beauty and outer beauty, says that her mind is at peace. Her heart has love that is innocent and pure. And that brings us to the end of the poem, my dear students. I hope you got it. You all got it. Here I have given some literary devices used in the poem, right? Just for your knowledge, since you will be using encountering all these devices in your higher classes also. Let's start with the alliteration. Alliteration is used in this poem. What is alliteration? It's a literary device where words are used in quick succession and begin with letters belonging to the same sound groups. Example: cloudless climes and starry skies. See, letters belonging to the same sound groups: CL, cloudless, climes, starry, sky, right? These are called alliteration, okay? And this line is an example of alliteration from the poem. Another one is this one is very common: simile. What is a simile? A simile is a figure of speech used to compare two things through the explicit use of correcting words such as like, so, then, etc. In the poem you will find many. One is given here: like the night, compares the poem's subject. It is a beautiful woman with the night, right? With a night sky, beautiful night sky. Another one uses personification, a literary device which lends human attributes or character to a non-human things or object, which heaven from the poem, which heaven to God they denies. Here Lord Byron gives heaven a human emotion or qualities. Okay. Third one, or the fourth one, is symbolism. Symbolism is using an object or action that means something more than its literal meaning. Example here in the poem: and all that's best of dark and bright, right? This line is an example of symbolism. The poet uses light and darkness as a symbol of beauty. Okay, this is used throughout the poem. Okay, so here we have an example of symbolism. I hope this helps you, my dear students. Go through this once more from the video. In the video you'll understand better. Rhyme scheme is also presented for you for your better understanding of the poem. Okay, rhyme scheme. The poem She Walks in Beauty has the following rhyme scheme. The rhyme scheme from line 1 to 6 is AB, AB, and AB. Rhyme scheme of lines starting from line 7 to 12 is CD, 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 and the rhyme scheme of line 13 to 18, total of 18 lines, but starting from 18 to 13 is EF, EF, EF. Right? So this is the rhyme scheme that is followed in the poem. This is for your knowledge. Go through the video slowly once again, have a look, right, and you will have a clearer understanding. Like it is mentioned often, notes will be provided to you. Please consult your class MCP. Notes will be uploaded there, or it will be explicitly given to you, right? So you don't have to worry. But again, try and attempt the answers on your own first. Okay, read. It is absolutely necessary and critical that you read the textbook. Please read the textbook and complement with the watching or going through this video content very slowly. Okay, don't just simply watch once and then get over with it. You watch it slowly, go over it again and again, and then see if you understood or not. uh, Things are as simple as it is given here. I hope you all got it. I will get in touch with you with another video very soon. Okay, so that will be it for today's class. I will get in touch with you again. Thank you.